All right. Hello, hello. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Perfect. Okay. Just got to get this screen off. There we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ready, Set, Edit, making YouTube editing as easy as a dad joke. We are going to be jumping right in today, and you are in the right place if this is what you are looking for. So the very first thing I want you to do, we do this every single time, is I want you to drop a hashtag live. If you're catching me live, give me a hashtag replay if you are catching the replay. That way I know who's here and I can touch base with you and see how I can help you with your video and YouTube journey. So go ahead and drop a hashtag live or hashtag replay. Now, have you ever thought that YouTube editing could be as simple as laughing at your dad's classic joke? Why did the bicycle fall over? Well, it was too tired, right? But hey, don't worry, no comedy gold required here because we're about to make YouTube editing as easy as a dad joke. Today we are cracking the code to quick, effective, and let's be honest, fun video editing. I'm going to show you that it's not just about fancy software, but about the techniques that you use. So buckle up. All right. So just a reminder, hashtag live. If you're catching me live, give me a hashtag replay. If you're catching the replay, I will be watching the comments. And if you have any questions, you can drop those there and I would be happy to answer them for you as we go. One more question for you before we jump in, and that is, are you a current or future YouTuber? The reason this question is important is because it gives me an idea of where we're at, who's in the audience, and how I can help you the best. Additionally, if you are a current YouTuber, you can drop the link to your channel in the chat. You never know who's paying attention, including me, and I'll go check out your channel after this live to see who it is that was here with me. So my name is Elise Michelle Nelson. I'm a YouTube business strategist and lead generator, if you don't know me. What it means is that I help you use video to create visibility and generate leads for your business so that you can reach your people, teach them, and close the sale. That is our goal, is to do those three things: reach your people, teach them, and close the sale. I have personally published over 800 videos on YouTube, and I make money every single week from my YouTube channel. I have also helped thousands of business owners create more sales with my do-it-yourself courses and monthly memberships. Plus, I've worked with other brands with tens of thousands of followers with my done-for-you YouTube management services and video editing. And I do all of these things so that you can support your family, travel, and most importantly, take a nap whenever you want. So what are we going to be covering today? Today, we are going to cover the 9 keys to editing your videos. I'm going to give you some freebies like I always do, and then I'm going to give you one take action step. So those are the 3 goals for today: the 9 keys to editing your videos, freebies, take action steps. You're going to stick with me all the way to the end so you can get all of those freebies, because there is a special freebie that only comes out with this particular training. So if you haven't been at this training before, you're going to miss it if you don't stick to the end. So one more reminder, if you are catching me live, give me a hashtag live. If you are catching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And before we jump in, I know I said I had one more question, but I actually have one more question. This is the last one for all the future YouTubers in the room. When are you planning to start your YouTube channel? We all know that someday never comes. And if you're waiting for someday, you will never see your YouTube dreams become a reality. So if you're telling yourself that someday you'll have a YouTube channel, you are holding yourself back. You're hiding your talents and keeping them a secret from the world's second largest search engine with over 5 billion videos viewed each day. You're remaining silent and holding your ideal customer back. You could be helping them, but you're not. And all it takes to see a change in that story is you stepping out and declaring, I'm a YouTuber and my journey, it starts today. So, who's ready to get started? Who wants to know how to use video editing to help you with your YouTube journey? In a little bit, you're going to discover the next step on your YouTube journey, and I hope that you'll be ready to take the leap. Stop hiding your treasure. Let's get it out there. All right, let's jump into the 9 keys to editing your videos. Now, I want to be very clear. This is for videos on YouTube, not shorts. You are not going to necessarily do all of these same things for shorts as you would for a video. They work completely differently. And I have another video that we'll be going over soon where I give you some more information about the 2 types of video on YouTube, how you should use them, and how you can use them across platforms as well. But today we are focused solely on videos, not shorts. And the very first thing I want to talk to you about is I want to talk to you about video keywords. Now, these are the search phrases your audience uses to look for videos just like yours. YouTube also listens for them in your transcription, and they should be found before you record. Your keywords help YouTube identify your content, which improves your visibility, which means it's easier for your viewers to tell what your video is about and improves your click-through rate. So your keywords are really important. And do they have to do with video editing strictly? No. But this is something you should be doing before you ever record your video. And so I always mention it. As a business owner, your goal should be to create evergreen content, meaning it can be found forever and send you leads forever. And the way you do that is with keywords. So that's a wrap on video keywords. They might seem small, but they are mighty powerful when it comes to getting your video in front of the right eyes. And they are the secret sauce to getting your videos to say what they're about and get you discovered on YouTube's vast platform. And that's why we're talking about them, even though they're not really technically video editing, okay? So if you are with me and you're like, Elise, I understand video keywords are important and that I need to be looking at these if I want my YouTube channel to consistently send me new leads and traffic, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. And if you're like, Elise, no, I don't think this is important at all, I want you to drop a 2 in the chat and tell me why. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our second key to editing your videos. And again, we're not talking about shorts, we're talking about videos. And that is your 10-second hook. The 10-second hook is going to be a way for you to tell them in the beginning why they should stick around with you. This is to grab their attention. It's what they'll watch in the video. And if you can mention an attention grabber, that's going to get them to stay with you. And the reason your hook is so important is because it increases your watch time. What happens is if someone comes onto your video and what you're saying is really boring or repetitive to what you've said multiple times before, they're not going to care and they're going to leave. Because they're either going to think they've already seen the video or they're just going to be bored and not be interested in what you're saying. When you focus on having a hook, it's going to help them stick around long enough to see that they really need to hear what you're talking about. In other words, it increases watch time. Remember, your hook doesn't always have to be flashy or sensational. It just needs to be engaging and promise value to your audience. Whether you use humor, intrigue, a question, or a surprising fact, a great hook really can set the stage for an effective YouTube video. So your 10-second hook is incredibly important. How much time are you spending on yours? Speaking of hooks, what social media platform does Captain Hook hate? I take a drink of my water, give you guys a second to respond. What social media platform do you think Captain Hook hates? And I'm going to double check and make sure I don't have any comments coming in that I've missed. Okay. All right. Captain Hook hates TikTok. I hope you get it. It's so bad, but hilarious. I mean, the title of this is all about dad jokes. We've got to have some dad jokes in there. So if you're with me and you're like, Elise, yes, I get it. It is really important for me to have a great hook. I want you to drop a 3 in the chat. And if you're like, Elise, no, I don't think it's that important to have a good hook. I want you to drop a 4 in the chat and tell me why. So that is our second key to editing your videos. We're going to go ahead and move into our third key to editing your videos, and that is your introduction. Hint, your introduction should not be at the beginning of your video. First, you should be doing your hook. Then you can have your introduction, okay? Your introduction is all about clearly communicating who you are and what you do. Think of it as your elevator pitch. You want it to be short and sweet. I did an introduction in this video that you're watching. It was a little bit longer than I would normally recommend for a video, but you can probably get away with it, especially if you talk at 100 miles an hour like I do. Cheryl says 3. She's on board with the 10-second hook. So as an example of an introduction, you might say something like, I'm Elise Michelle Nelson. I'm a YouTube business strategist and lead generator, which means I help you use video to create visibility and generate leads for your business. That is my elevator pitch, my intro. It's short and sweet, right? something like that that's going to tell them why they should stick around with you and continue to watch your content. Remember, the goal of your introduction is to tell people who you are and why they should stick around. So that's what we want to do. This should not be a 10-minute monologue about everything you've ever done in your entire life. We want this to be short, sweet, and get the point across. The point of this is to get them to stick with you beyond this one video, okay? So your hook gets them to stick with you for the video that they're currently watching. Your introduction gets them to want to get more content from you. If you are with me and you're like, Elise, I get it. I understand why the introduction is important and what it should be like. In other words, how long it should be. Go ahead and drop a 5 in the chat. And if you're like, Elise, no, I don't think you should have an introduction in your video at all, you can drop a 6 in the chat and tell me why. All right, so that was our third key to editing your videos. And that, again, is not for shorts. This is for videos. We're going to go ahead and move into our fourth key to editing your videos, and that is what I call pattern interrupts. And these are visual effects and or graphics that you put onto your videos when you're editing them to hold attention. And what they do, why they're important, is because they address short attention spans, and they hold attention. They get people to keep watching because they want to see what you're going to do next, right? And the time for attention, depending upon who you ask, is going to vary. But generically for video, we're looking at anywhere from 8 to 12 seconds changing what's on the screen. Now you're watching this video now, so you've been seeing me hold up signs. This is one way to avoid having to do video editing as much because I'm adding pattern interrupts in the actual recording. And so pattern interrupts are really important because they make it so they're not just staring at the same exact thing forever. You'll also notice I do a lot with my hands. Now, I've had people comment that they hate this, but one of the reasons I do it is because it changes what you're looking at. All of these things are pattern interrupts, and they can be done before, while you're recording, or during editing. So again, every 8 to 12 seconds, we want to have something change on the screen. That's our goal. So in a 12-minute video, that means you have 60 potential pattern interrupts. And this goes beyond just cutting out ums and pauses. This is putting text on the screen, or images, or B-roll, or GIFs, something like that to make the screen change, or maybe holding up a sign. So I want to talk a little bit about the different types of pattern interrupts before we move on to our fifth key to editing your videos, because this is something that's really important for you to understand if you want to be successful on YouTube. We have to be thinking about what visual elements we can put on the screen to combat short attention spans and hold their viewership, get them to keep watching, right? So during recording, things that you can do, you can hold up a prop, which I mentioned a moment ago. It can even be like a water bottle holder, right? Anything, a prop. This can be done during recording. You can also use a variety of camera angles. So turn on 2 cameras, place one in front of you and one off to the side, and you can switch between those 2 angles in the video. And this is a pretty easy way to have a quick change, a good pattern interrupt during recording. You can also zoom in and out during recording. Now, some cameras will allow you to do this just by pushing a couple buttons, but there's a real easy way to do it also. You can do something like this. Look, now I'm further away. Now I'm zoomed in. And so zooming in and out like that during recording can make it a lot easier for you during editing because it's just done automatically. You just cut out the little gap where you weren't talking, right? And it doesn't require as much editing. You can also use hand gestures, as I mentioned before. So those can all be done during recording to cause the scene to change so that someone can continue to pay attention. Now in editing, you can also zoom in or out. You can add cuts, which means how you're joining 2 pieces of video together. So there's hard cuts, which is where you just split a video. And then there's jump cuts where like the sound and the video change at different points. That's how jump cuts and things like that are done. And you can research video cuts on Google and they'll show you all different types of cuts you can use. You can also use stickers or GIFs. I do this a lot in my videos. If you look at the videos on my YouTube channel, you'll see that I use a lot of stickers and GIFs in my videos. B-roll is where you take a video that is not whatever you're doing and you add it on top. So for example, if right here, I wanted to put a video of me walking around the lake, that's clearly not what I'm currently doing as I'm recording. That's called B-roll. So A-roll is whatever is the actual video. B-roll is when you put something else on top of it. So a lot of times you'll see people source B-roll from somewhere like Pixabay, or they might buy it. And this B-roll is going to, again, help you hold attention. You can also add text on the screen. And one great way to do that is to have it say screenshot this and provide a summary. And they can actually take a screenshot. You'll be in the image with the text, and that gives them a way to remember who helped them learn whatever you're doing. You can also add transitions, and this is where like you might see a wipe or a fade. Sometimes people use their cameras and they move them in certain angles, so they do these really cool things, and these are transitions. Now these can actually be added in recording, like what I just mentioned, or they can be added in editing. There's different ways to add transitions. So these are not all. These are many of the ways that you can edit your video or add in your pattern interrupts during recording to keep attention on your videos. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about your video like a good meal. You wouldn't want to eat the same thing bite after bite after bite, right? You wouldn't want every single meal to be exactly the same. So mix it up. Keep your viewer engaged with a visual feast. Give them an appetizer, the main course, and a dessert. Speaking of food, do you want to hear a joke about pizza? Who wants to hear a joke about pizza? Go ahead and comment in the chat. Oh, never mind. It's too cheesy. Okay, so now we're going to summarize here pattern interrupts. If you're like, Elise, I understand why I need pattern interrupts. I thank you for talking to me about it. I understand how there's different ways to do this and what the purpose is. I want you to drop a 7 in the chat. And if you're like, Elise, no, I do not think that I need to worry about pattern interrupts in my videos. I don't agree with you. I don't understand what you're talking about. Any version of that, I want you to drop an 8 in the chat and then elaborate. Why do you think you don't need pattern interrupts? What are you confused about? How can I help you further with understanding the purpose of pattern interrupts? So go ahead and drop a 7 if you're with me, an 8 if you're not, and then explain what you need from me to be able to make that more clear or why you disagree with me. I'm all about having people say what they believe. You don't have to agree with me on everything. All right, so we are going to move into our 5th key to editing your videos, and that is summaries or highlights. And I actually mentioned this just a moment ago when I talked about pattern interrupts, because these two things go kind of together. One of the ways of doing pattern interrupts is by including a summary or a highlight. And so what these are is these are an actual recap of what you've talked about. Sometimes it's at the end. You go, today we talked about the 9 keys to editing your videos. They were blah, 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 blah. Or it might be that you put text on the screen, which is what I mentioned a moment ago, that says screenshot this and then lists the 9 keys. So they can just take a screenshot and get absolutely everything in one shot. Or you can do a combination of the two. Say it and put the screenshot on up at the same time. Why the summary and highlight is so important is because it's an opportunity to discuss the content of your video to reinforce the material and improve understanding. It makes it easier for the viewer to make sure they didn't miss anything. And it improves memorability and increases the likelihood of repeat viewers and subscribers. Because if they screenshot your thing and you're on there and you've got branding and you've got all the information they needed and they have a question later about that topic, guess who they're going to come back to? You. So by providing summaries or highlights, you allow your people to better understand what you're talking about, and they will remember that and they will come back to you when they have more questions about the same topic. So if you understand what I'm saying about summaries and highlights, I want you to drop a 9 in the chat. And if you're like, Elise, I get it. I understand why this is important. And if you're like, no, I don't agree with you. I don't think that's important at all. I want you to drop a 10 in the chat and tell me why. We're going to go ahead and move on to the 6th key to editing your videos, and that is engaging call to actions. So call to actions are exactly what they sound like. You are telling your person to do something. You are calling them to action. You are telling them to do something. And this is really important because the whole reason we use video as a business is to get leads, to generate sales, to connect with our people. And the way we can do that is by telling them what their next step is. Otherwise, they watch your video, you lose them, and they never move forward with you, which not only hurts your business, it hurts them. Because if you are actually helping your people, which we all should be doing, when they get the chance to take the next step with you, it's giving them more help. So Engaging call to actions are directly showing, asking, or telling your viewers to do something, and they result in an increased engagement, subscribers, followers, email list, purchases, depending upon what you're telling them to do, right? So I want you to think about the 3 to 4 things that you want your viewers to do. I'm going to give you 1 second to think about that. What are the 3 or 4 things you want your viewers to do? Now, a reminder, we are talking about videos here, not shorts. So you should be having 10 minutes or longer probably on your videos to be able to put in more than 1 call to action. And so you can have 3 to 4 in your videos. And I recommend that you have 1 to 2 what I call hard call to actions and 2 to 3 what I call soft call to actions. And so a hard call to action means that they are going to be leaving the platform. So we're talking YouTube, they have to leave YouTube to do the thing. This is going to be like signing up for your email list, making a purchase, going off of YouTube. That is hard for them to do, okay? The other type of call to action is a soft call to action. And these are on the platform. So this is like liking, subscribing or following, sharing, watching another video or playlist, commenting. And if you ask them to comment, you might want to consider asking a question because it makes it easy for them to comment. So these are the different types of call to actions. My recommendation is you have 3 to 4 of these in each of your videos, assuming your video is around 10 minutes or longer. 1 to 2 hard call to actions and 2 to 3 soft call to actions. Typically, your hard call to actions are going to be in your intro or your closing, and your soft call to actions are going to be spaced throughout the video. So for example, I'm going to ask you right now to like this video if you're watching it and you're finding it helpful so that Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching me will push it to more people. So that is in the middle of my video. I just asked you to like. This is an example of what a call to action might be. Speaking of call to actions, be sure that you stick to the end of this video because I have some amazing freebies to help you get started on your YouTube and or video journey today instead of someday. So if you're with me and you're like, Elise, I understand call to actions are super important, I want you to drop an 11 in the chat. And if you're like, no, I don't understand why we're even talking about this, I don't think it's important, or I don't really understand what they are, I want you to drop a 12 in the chat. And I want to tell you one final story before we move on from our call to actions. I cannot tell you how many clients I have had who have come to me and they've been like, Elise, I had a video go viral. And their version of this varies. Sometimes it's millions of views, sometimes it's thousands of views. Sometimes it's, thousands of comments, whatever, your version of viral. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Congratulations, you had a video go viral. And I'm like, what call to action did you have on your video? I didn't. I can't. I recently had someone come to my in-person events here in Houston. She's like, I didn't have a call to action and I'm trying to figure out how to take advantage of this viral video when I didn't have a call to action. And there are some things you can do, but the reality of the situation is there's not much you can do. That's why it's so important to include these call to actions, because when you have a video hit or go viral, you don't want to be sitting there kicking yourself for missing that opportunity. And so call to actions, guys, these are really, really important. These are huge for your business. So again, an 11 in the chat if you're with me and you're like, I get it, I don't want that to happen to me. And a 12 in the chat if you're like, that's okay, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to keep pushing forward and not worry about having call to actions in my videos. All right. That was our 6th key to editing your videos. We have 3 more, and we're going to go ahead and move on to number 7. Number 7 is captions, subtitles, and transcript. So these are all about the text version of your video. And there's several different ways you can do these. And depending upon what software you're using and what platform you're on, they're going to call it different things. So I'm just going to cover them all, okay? Whatever you want to call them, that's fine. Captions, subtitles, transcripts. So on YouTube will auto-generate a transcript that can be shown as closed captioning on your video if the viewer wants to see it. But you can also replace or edit that closed captioning with your own transcript so that it'll show exactly the right thing. Why would you want to do this? Well, oftentimes YouTube gets it wrong. For example, 9 times out of 10, my name, Elise, is transcribed as at least. That's a problem. And there are other words that this happens with quite frequently. So if I use my own transcript and upload that to YouTube instead of using theirs, those things will be fixed. You can also, and then you can also embed captions or subtitles into your video so viewers have to see them. So closed captioning means they can turn it on or off. Captions or subtitles, again, these terms are kind of interchangeable depending on the platform. they're when the text is actually stuck on the screen. So most of the time you see captions and subtitles on a short. It's not typically on a video. Usually on videos, you're going to see the closed captioning, right? Now, how you use these is going to vary based on the platform, but the purpose of this text is to help improve understanding and increase watch time by giving your viewer two ways to consume your content: visual, so the text, and audio. It makes it easy for them to follow along. It's also easier to consume with no sound, which will increase your watch time, because a lot of times we can't have sound, or maybe they can't hear. So you're actually going to make it so that if they're deaf or hard of hearing, they can still understand your video, and or if they have their volume turned down or off, they can still watch your video and learn whatever it is you're talking about. This is also a great way to overcome language barriers, because they can read the script even if they don't quite follow along with your text as you're talking. Or if you're like me and you talk really, really fast, it can help people to follow along as well. So the long and short of it is that adding captions, subtitles, transcripts ensures that everyone can enjoy your content. Plus, they're great for those who want to watch in silence while pretending to work. I see you, and I've got you covered. All right, speaking of work, what sign should be above every entrepreneur's computer? Carpe diem. Carpe diem. Okay, moving on. We're now moving to our strong closing, which is the 8th key to editing your videos. And this is all about making sure you take advantage of the last chance to get your viewers to take action, tune in, and make a lasting impression. It should include a brief summary, a call to action, a brand sign-off. In other words, I always say, I'm so glad we get to live our dreams together every single day. Any of these pieces can be part of your strong closing. And the reason this matters is it can help increase engagement, subscribers, followers, email list, etc., depending upon what you're asking them to do with your call to action in your closing. Your closing is your final opportunity to make an impression, like the unforgettable punchline of a dad joke. So be sure to leave them looking forward to your next video. If you're like, Elise, I'm on board, I understand, I should have a closing, I want you to drop a 15 in the chat. If you're like, Elise, no, I don't think a closing is all that important, I want you to drop a 16 in the chat. And we're going to move on to our final key to editing your videos, and that is your end screen. So again, we are talking about videos, not shorts. End screens don't belong on shorts, they belong on videos. And they are important because they give you a link to another video. You can have this be a video that YouTube chooses based upon the person watching your video, or you can decide what video to send them to next. Either way, you can also link to a playlist. You can add a subscribe button there so that they can subscribe to your channel. And if you are part of the YouTube Partner Program with 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you can even include a website link. And the great thing about end screens is they also help you to increase watch time, increase engagement, get subscribers, followers, email list, etc., depending upon what call to action you use on your end screen. So the end screen is really important because it's really your last chance, right? We talked about our closing as our last chance, but really your end screen is your real last chance to get them to go to the next video, to get them to go buy something, whatever it is you want them to do next. So you're with me and you're like, Elise, yeah, I get it. An end screen is important. I want you to drop a 17 in the chat. If you're like, Elise, I don't know what an end screen is, or I don't think it's that important, I want you to drop an 18 in the chat. So now that you are thoroughly overwhelmed and you're thinking, but Elise, this doesn't sound as easy as a dad joke at all, I have a few things to help you get it done. So this is where we're moving into our freebies. You're going to make sure you stick with me because we've got great freebies, and then I will let you guys go. So the very first thing I want to talk to you about is the From Word Woes to Video Pro, the ultimate YouTube script for the tongue-tied. This is where you're going to learn how to get more views, watch time, and subscribers by using the right script. Now, to be clear, I don't believe in having a script per se most of the time. There are times where it's appropriate, but most of the time it's not. This is a fill-in-the-blank guideline of things you can include, and it's kind of like a summary of everything that we've just gone through, and it's going to help you not be staring at a blank page. Instead, you'll be discussing your expertise and experience and filling in the blanks with stories that resonate with your audience. You'll be crafting videos that don't just grab attention, but hold attention. And the result, more sales lighting up your dashboard. You're just going to go to myscheduledbiz.com/script and you're going to be able to download that, and it will help you plan out your videos. The next freebie I have for you, So the next thing I want you to do after you go and grab From Word Woes to Video Pro is I want you to go RSVP for Purpose to Profit, the Goldmine Blueprint for Current and Future YouTubers with Passion. This is going to be our video class next week here in the same place you are now. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching in my Facebook group, if you're watching in another Facebook group, wherever you happen to be, this is going to happen in the same place, same time, next Wednesday, May 15th. So you're going to go RSVP to join us for Purpose to Profit, the Goldmine Blueprint for Current and Future YouTubers with Passion. This is another free class where I'm going to be going over kind of the step-by-step of what it is that you need to be doing. You're going to get a blueprint of how to use YouTube for your business. Next freebie I have for you is for those of you that are not in my Facebook group already, and that is the Fearless Biz Owners Success Through Video on YouTube Facebook group. In this group, we have challenges, weekly teachings, and you can share your videos Monday through Friday in a dedicated thread for critiques and praise. And if you are not already in that group, you want to join us, you can go to myscheduledbiz.com/bizzers or facebook.com/groups/msbizzers. Both will take you to the same place. And if you are in the group and you're not participating and you're trying to use video and YouTube for your business, you're missing out. You need to come and join us. Come start sharing your videos. Come start asking your questions. This group is specifically for business owners who are using video. So you're going to want to join us there, and you're going to want to make sure you take advantage of everything that's happening. Got 2 more freebies for you guys, so stick with me. So the next one is a free YouTube coffee chat. Now, I only do 4 of these every week because I have a busy schedule, and you can only grab 1 of these. I can only do 1 of these for you for free. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to come in and we're going to talk about your video and YouTube journey, and you're going to walk away with a clear outline of what it's going to take for you to use video and YouTube to reach your people, teach them, and close the sale. As I said, that is our goal here. I want to make sure that you are continuously reaching your people and getting leads from the content that you are putting out. Last thing, take action step. If you want help understanding how to use YouTube, the step-by-steps, the full ball of wax, or you want someone to help you do it, so whether you are DIY or done for you, you're looking for help, message me, m.me/elise.michelle.566, and I can talk to you and help you figure out what your next step should be. This can be if you want help with keyword research, channel setup, video editing, you want to know how to do video editing yourself, you want more details, any of those things I can help you with, go ahead and message me right here on Facebook. I would be happy to help you with that. And guys, that is your take action steps. Those are your freebies. Connect, figure out what your next steps are, and start moving forward in your business. I cannot wait to talk with you more. If you have any questions, you can drop those in the chat. I'm going to go check all of the various places and see if there's any questions here in just a moment. I want to thank you so much. I'm so glad that we get to live our dreams together every single day. And I hope to see you next week where we'll be talking all about, oh, wrong one. Oh no, I lost it. This is the problem. Here we go. The Goldmine Blueprint for current and future YouTubers with passion, purpose to profit. I'll see you then. Bye.